Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsav Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved his 6-member war cabinet that had been overseeing the country's military offensive in Gaza. The move follows the departure of former Army Chief and Defense Minister Benny Gantz from the cabinet. Reports say that Netanyahu will now consult with a smaller group of ministers. US and British forces have carried out at least 6 airstrikes on Yemen. This is according to the Houthi-run news networks. The forces reportedly struck Hodeidah International Airport and Kamaran Island near the port of Salif off the Red Sea. Yemen's internationally recognized government believes that the Houthis have used the island and Port Salif to launch their attacks on the Red Sea and hide stockpiles of missiles and drones. The White House has condemned China's provocative and irresponsible actions in the West Philippine Sea. The remarks come after a Chinese ship collided with the Philippine ships in disputed waters yesterday. The White House says that at least one Filipino soldier was wounded during the collision. The US has labeled the incident as reckless and unnecessary. Russian President Vladimir Putin is all set to visit North Korea to meet their leader Kim Jong Un. The 2-day trip is a friendly state visit. According to reports, Putin and Kim Jong Un will sign a strategic partnership treaty. Putin is reportedly seeking North Korean arms for his military offensive in Ukraine. The US has expressed concern over closer Russia-North Korea ties, claiming that this could affect the Korean Peninsula's security. South Korea has said that it is closely monitoring the activities of the North Korean military after its soldiers briefly crossed the military demarcation line near the border. The North Korean troops moved back after warning shots were fired. Seoul released photos of border activities taken over the past 2 months. The pictures appear to show North Korean soldiers planting landmines and building road-like structures. A criminal court in Thailand granted bail to former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, which helps him avoid pre-trial detention for allegedly insulting the Thai monarchy in an interview back in 2015. The former Prime Minister is a powerful backer of the ruling government. He has denied all the charges. He returned to Thailand last year after he spent 15 years in self-imposed exile following his ouster from power because of a military coup. Thailand has become the first Southeast Asian nation to legalize same-sex marriage after the country's Senate approved a landmark bill. Earlier, Thailand's House of Representatives passed the bill in a near-unanimous vote in March. The law will take effect 120 days after its announcement in the Thai Royal Gazette. The collision between a passenger train and a cargo train in India's West Bengal state killed at least 8 people and injured at least 25 others. Rescue operations were launched right after the tragic accident. The rail tracks have been restored. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed his grief over the unforeseen situation and announced an ex gratia payment of rupees 200,000 for the family members of the deceased. Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the Congress party in India, has vacated his Wayanad seat in the state of Kerala for his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Rahul Gandhi had won the Wayanad and Raebareli seats in the recent parliamentary elections. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will now make her poll debut by contesting by-polls from the Wayanad seat. A power outage at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport disrupted several services yesterday afternoon. The outage impacted the airport's conveyor belts, air conditioning, and one of the e-gates. Authorities say that the outage was caused by a voltage spike. Passengers took to social media to express the inconvenience caused by the disruption. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, met U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in New Delhi yesterday. The duo discussed India-U.S. bilateral relations. Jaishankar, in a social media post, said that the talks focused on a broad range of bilateral, regional and global issues. Sullivan's visit marks the first trip by a high-ranking U.S. official since India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned to office for his third term. At least 3 people were killed in a shooting in Toronto in Canada. The police say that the person responsible for the shooting is also believed to be among the dead. The police believes that the shooting may have been a result of an altercation related to the business conducted at the shooting premises. At least 11 people have died and more than 60 continue to remain missing after 2 migrant shipwrecks off Italy's southern shores. The missing people include 26 children as well. While the survivors were handed over to the Italian Coast Guard and taken ashore yesterday morning. 13 people have lost their lives due to flooding and landslides in El Salvador and Guatemala as heavy rains continue to affect Central America. In El Salvador, 5 people died in a landslide in the western district of Tacuba. The government has issued a state of emergency to facilitate the mobilization of resources. Over 800 people have been forced to evacuate to a safer place. A wildfire in the northwest of Los Angeles has consumed more than 14,000 acres of land. About 400 firefighters equipped with 70 fire trucks and 2 bulldozers have been battling the flames. Efforts to contain the wildfire are being severely hampered by high temperatures, low humidity, and strong wind. A waterspout transformed into a weak tornado upon reaching land in Florida. It was captured in a video. The funnel cloud was seen moving over treetops. There were no injuries or significant damage. The Indian Meteorological Department has predicted that the heat wave that is currently affecting the country will continue on June 18th in India's national capital region and its surroundings. The department has also warned of intense heat waves in several parts of the state of Uttar Pradesh. Isolated heavy rainfall is also anticipated for the states of West Bengal, Assam and Meghalaya. The United States is sweltering under extreme heat. Authorities have sounded alerts due to the ongoing heat wave there. Excessive humidity is predicted for the week. Meanwhile, central Canada is also under heat warnings as it prepares for dangerous temperatures that could feel as high as 45 degrees Celsius. Local officials have urged residents to take necessary precautions. Greece is reeling under unprecedented early heat waves. The scorching heat has claimed the lives of several tourists. Yesterday, the police reported the death of a 55-year-old American who was found on the island of Mathraki, making it the 3rd tourist death in a week. Heavy rain triggered landslides in southern China and they have killed at least 9 people. Several people have been evacuated due to the flooding. Meanwhile, the northern parts of the country are battling drought as China faces 2 extremes of severe weather. On to business and tech news. China has opened a probe into pork and its byproducts imported from the European Union. The country will examine if pork imported from the EU countries is hurting China's domestic firms. The probe is being seen as a retaliatory measure against EU tariffs that were announced earlier this month. The EU plans to impose additional tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles to safeguard its domestic EV industry. France's stock market has lost its spot as Europe's biggest market to the UK. The Paris stock market's combined valuation has declined to $3.13 trillion. This is below the $3.18 trillion market value of the London Stock Exchange. This comes as the French stock market has been declining amid political turmoil. President Emmanuel Macron announced a snap election in the country last week. The move sparked a market rout that has wiped out nearly $260 billion from the Paris Stock Exchange. American electric vehicle maker Fisker has filed for bankruptcy. Fisker said that it has up to $500 million in liabilities. Earlier this year, the EV maker raised concerns about its ability to remain in business. Fisker was seeking to partner with a large automaker to restructure its debt. The bankruptcy filing follows the collapse of talks with the larger automaker. Tesla has begun a legal fight to reinstate CEO Elon Musk's 2018 pay package. The $56 billion package was nullified by a U.S. court earlier this year. The court had ruled that the details of the package were concealed from shareholders. Last week, Tesla shareholders voted to approve Musk's pay package. Berkshire Hathaway, the investment firm belonging to American billionaire Warren Buffett, has reduced its stake in the Chinese electric car maker BYD. Berkshire says it has sold 1.3 million shares of BYD for nearly $40 million. With this sale, Berkshire's stake in the Chinese firm stands at 6.9%. Berkshire Hathaway first bought BYD shares in 2008. The plane maker Boeing CEO David Calhoun is set to testify before a U.S. Senate committee today. Calhoun is expected to be grilled over the quality and safety issues Boeing jets have been facing. Boeing jets have been involved in a number of mishaps this year. This has raised concerns over the manufacturing issues with Boeing jets. The U.S. state of Kansas has filed a lawsuit against pharma giant Pfizer. Kansas accuses Pfizer of misleading the public about its COVID-19 vaccine. The lawsuit claims that Pfizer hid evidence that allegedly linked its vaccine to pregnancy complications, including miscarriages. Texas had filed a similar lawsuit against Pfizer last year. Meanwhile, the U.S. government has sued the editing software maker Adobe. Adobe is accused of enrolling customers without clearly disclosing key terms. The U.S. says that Adobe hides subscription cancellation fees from customers, which can sometimes reach hundreds of dollars. Apple is ending its Buy Now, Pay Later program in the U.S. The service allowed customers to split their purchases into 4 installments with no interest or fees. It was launched for American users in March last year. Apple says it plans to launch a new loan program through credit and debit cards later this year. The hearing of a case challenging a U.S. law that could potentially ban TikTok will start on September 16th. The case was brought by TikTok and a group of users. The U.S. law was enacted earlier this year. It forces TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to sell the app by next year or face a ban. Moving to sports news, we start with cricket. Sri Lanka defeated the Netherlands by 83 runs in a T20 World Cup match. Charit Asalanka and Kusal Mendes gave Sri Lanka a good start, chasing the target of 201 runs. The Netherlands were all out in 16.4 overs, scoring just 118. This marks Sri Lanka's only win in Group D matches. Meanwhile, in another World Cup match, the West Indies crushed Afghanistan by 104 runs. Batting first, the West Indies scored 218 for 5. Nicholas Pooran's 98 runs off the 53 balls was the highlight of the innings. In reply, Afghanistan had a poor start, losing their opener, Ramanullah Gurbaz, in the very first over. Afghanistan were only able to score 114 in 16.2 overs. Pakistan head coach Gary Kirsten has reportedly slammed the Babar Azam-led team after their exit from the World Cup. Kirsten has said that there is no unity in the Pakistani team. Pakistan ended their T20 World Cup 2024 campaign with a consolation win over Ireland earlier this week. The team suffered a shocking loss against co-hosts the US in the tournament. This was followed by a defeat against arch rivals India. In football, Romania beat Ukraine 3-0 to secure their first Euros win in 24 years. Ukraine dominated the opening 20 minutes of the match. However, Nicolae Stancu and midfielder Razvan Marin stunned Ukraine with their long-range strikes. This is Romania's second win in Euro history, following their victory against England at the Euro 2000. Meanwhile, France secured a narrow 1-0 victory over Austria in their Euro 2024 opener. The two-time Euro champions had to wait until the 38th minute for their breakthrough. An own goal by Austrian defender Maximilian Bober helped decide the match. France's victory, however, was marred by captain Kylian Mbappe's injury. Mbappe was forced off the field in the final minute of the match after suffering a blow to his nose during an aerial duel with Kevin Danso. He was taken to the hospital where the doctors confirmed that Mbappe has suffered a broken nose. Reports say that he has returned to the French team's base camp and will undergo treatment in the coming days. The Indian men's football team's head coach, Igor Stimac, has been sacked. This comes after the team failed to advance to the third round of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. India's apex football body has said that a new coach will be best placed to take the team forward. Stimac was appointed head coach of the Indian football team in 2019. He was given an extension in 2023. In tennis, Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka and two-time Wimbledon finalist Ons Jabeur have opted out of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Both players cited concerns over transitioning from grass at Wimbledon to clay at Roland Garros for the Olympics. Wimbledon 2024 starts on July 1st, while Olympic matches begin on July 27th. World number 3 Sabalenka said she would prefer to take a break instead of playing in both events. India's Sumit Nagal has achieved a new career-high ranking of 71 in the latest ATP rankings. Nagal has climbed 6 spots in the rankings, moving past Leander Paes and joining Sashi Menon in the all-time list. With this, Nagal has become the 4th highest-ranked Indian man ever. Ahead of Nagal and Menon are Somdev Devarman, Ramesh Krishnan and Vijay Amritraj. In basketball, the Boston Celtics have won their record-breaking 18th NBA title. They have surpassed the Los Angeles Lakers for the most titles in league history. Jason Tatum led the team against the Dallas Mavericks with 31 points, 11 assists and 8 rebounds, while Jaylen Brown added 21 points and was voted the NBA Final MVP. This marks the Celtics' first championship since 2008. In entertainment news, pop star Katy Perry has officially announced that the first song for her project, Women's World, will arrive next month on July 11th. The official video will be premiering the following day. She also revealed that the single cover art was shot by Jack Bridgeland. The cover portrays her in metallic armor-like pants and a top. The singer Celine Dion returned to the red carpet for the first time after her diagnosis with the rare neurological disorder stiff person syndrome. The 54-year-old attended the New York City event for the screening of her upcoming documentary, I Am Celine Dion, with her son, René Charles Angelil. The documentary goes inside her life as a legendary performer. It also chronicles her battle with her disorder. Singer Dua Lipa has said that she is willing to risk a backlash over political statements on the Gaza war. She had recently described the military operations in Gaza as Israeli genocide. In an interview, the 28-year-old said that the statement was for the greater good and worth the risk. The release date for the F1 film starring Brad Pitt is finally out. It'll premiere worldwide on June 25th next year. The film is being produced by the 7-time world title winner Lewis Hamilton. The project is a collaborative effort of Formula One and Apple Original Films. The film reportedly has a $300 million budget. Actors Equity has gone on strike against developmental work. The strike comes after negotiations for a new contract with the Broadway League have stalled. Equity's negotiating team has said that the decision came as a result of an unsatisfactory wage package put forward by the league. This is the second time that Actors Equity has gone on strike for the same reason. In 2019, the union went on a 33-day strike. 85-year-old actor Ian McKellen was reportedly hospitalized yesterday after falling off stage mid-performance in London. The actor, popularly known for playing the role of Gandalf in the blockbuster Lord of the Rings films, reportedly fell during a fight scene after he lost his footing. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay said that he was treated at a hospital after being injured in a really bad bicycle accident in Connecticut. The Hell's Kitchen host said that the accident shook him and that he's lucky to be alive. In an Instagram post, Ramsay revealed a massive purple bruise on his torso. Actor Kevin Costner has said that he would love to go back to Yellowstone under the right circumstances. The final episodes of the series are currently in production without the star who played John Dutton. Warner Brothers Discovery has named Robert Gibbs its new communications chief. He is the White House press secretary to former President Barack Obama. Gibbs takes over the role from former corporate communications chief Nathaniel Brown, who exited the company in January. Scooter Braun has officially announced that he is stepping back from managing artists to focus on being the CEO of Hybe America. He had unofficially stepped back from managing artists such as Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande at least 2 years ago. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Firstpost.